Good afternoon once again. So, welcome to this week's lecture. Um, Before we go to what we have to do today, I want us to have just a quick revision of what we did the last time we met, which is creativity and innovation. And in the end, we came to realize that creativity has to do with our mindsets, what we think we can do, and we came to a realization that creativity is not necessarily born with people. So we can't say, oh, I'm not creative naturally, so I can't be creative. But creativity can be learned because it's a skill that we can acquire. Right. Then we also look at how we can become creative either through our social context, what we are studying, or knowledge area we have, or as an individual too, we can be creative or yeah. Then we also look at the difference between invention, synthesis, and modification, where we say invention or what we call creation. Creation is bringing something new that has never existed. Synthesis is combining two things that already exist, but probably they are not related, but you try to put them together to come up with something new, right? That's synthesis. For example, the coming of maybe the electricity. So there's water already, and we also know about the how kinetic energy and all those things convert into electricity. Yeah, there's so just coming up with new ideas, what we call technology, for example, to join two or more things, then we can come with something new. We call it synthesis, innovation, and creativity discussions. Then the last one is modification, when you want to improve upon something that already existed. So we can say we have the first edition, second edition will be an improvement on the first edition. The 20th edition will be an improvement on the 19th edition. Like you see your iPhones and you have iPhone 13 is an improvement on iPhone 12. So there may be some new features that makes it different. That's what we call modification in creative and innovation. So as a business person or as an entrepreneur, you may want to look at one of these for your creativity, either as a creation, something new, synthesis, combining things, or improve on something that already exists. So there are different ways of doing business, and any of these can result in a business idea that you can later see as an opportunity to work with. Then we look at how we can collect data or ideas for creativity exercises. We look at the brainstorming and also focus group discussion where we say everybody must participate and then there should be a moderator to get it done. Then we look at things that does not, no, sorry, things that promote creativity, which are the creativity enhancers. And we look at things that do not promote creativity, which are creativity distractors. And then we also look at innovation, where we say that while creativity is about mental efforts, thinking about something you can do, innovation is actually putting these creative ideas into practice. So creativity is more of abstract, thinking about what you can do. Okay, so you are creative, you learn how to create something, but by the time you begin to put them together to solve problems, to add value to something, then you are innovating. So we look at a typical example of innovation versus invention. Innovation is building on something. So you see, they have now have smartphones, even telephone that have WhatsApp and other systems on on telephones. Initially, it started as just uh, an invention of something that can just help you to make calls. And it even started as a simplex. It was the simplest communication. One person will have to finish and so you normally hear over, and then before that, the next person can be able to speak. So we have moved away from that, where people can even quarrel or have discussion on phone at the same time. A lot of people can be talking at the same time, or even through Zoom and other things. These are all innovations based on the invention that came some years ago. Yeah, we have also look at some example of how things can be made easier. This a grass or a rice planter can also have cassava grater. And we say that innovation can happen in many contexts. Either we are looking at innovation from the perspective of the product innovation, coming with new products, or we are looking at process innovation when we are starting some new process already. based on what is there. Then we can also have new marketing innovation when we're trying to even sell the product elsewhere or have new different product for people. They're all part of the or price innovation. They're all part of the marketing innovation. We can also have organizational innovation when our organization decide to do things differently, and that will improve everything. Then it's an innovation. Then we can have business model innovation, how we make money. We have to see whether the same way of making money, can we improve on it? So I gave an example of the telcos. When they started, they were only making money from the sale of a SIM card uh, and credits for call or call credits. But now they don't even sell SIM cards, like almost like nil or zero, or just maybe the agent will take some money, or you just pay for the cost of screening the SIM card, maybe less than $1, or yeah, like 5 cedis or something. But when you look at how they are making money now, it is mainly on data and mobile money. These things did not exist at the beginning. Okay, so the business model is how when they started, their business model was to make money from call cards. Now many people don't even make calls. This WhatsApp, you know. So if you're a telco, you have not innovated your business model to get money from data, you will not have enough money from your subscribers, or you will not get good return on your investment. Then we look at how we could protect our ideas. We say that nobody should just give their ideas to anybody just like that, but think about uh, the security of your document or your idea. So we have proposed different ways we can go about that using uh, non-disclosure agreements, copywriting it, trying to disguise your idea so you don't just tell people exactly what you want to do. So many ways, and of course you use your gut. So you don't just if your mind tells you, this person don't tell the person anything about your business, then yeah, just follow your guts and you could be right. Then we also learn about Richie Turere, who who innovated used his innovative approach and creativity to ward off lions on the farm, and he received quite great awards. So you see that there was simple synthesis. There was light already. There was switch. So you just needed to put it together to come up with a new idea. And then now Richie is a very, very renowned person based on the little thing he did to ward off lions from their cow shed in Nairobi, Kenya. And we also said that if you have business ideas or you need place that you can have more idea from the business, you can talk to me, or you can also go to our Design Thinking Innovation Hub at the University of Cape Coast, at the main administration block, and then they will be glad to support you. Thank you very much. Please, any question? I gave an assignment last week. Have we started the work?
Please, I have please, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Please, what is the difference between the invention and the creation?
Is there a difference between
Invention and the creation.
invention
Yes.
and what?
And creation.
Creation.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wanted to know if there's a difference between invention and creation. Okay.
And Richard
The
and the
invention
Richard
and creation
presentation.
they are the same. So, invention is bringing something that has never existed. Creation is also bringing out something that has never existed. So you see that we use one to define the other. So creation is like inventing something new. Yeah, basically. Invent itself means to create, to come up with something that never existed. So to create also is in the same area, or they are the same. So you can use them interchangeably. Let me put it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so according to the Richard presentation or Richard work,
Hello.
which type of the so please I say according to the Richard presentation or Richard Toure work, which kind of types
Uh,
that will be
According to
accept-
what?
according to the Richard work
Richard Turere, what he did, right?
is a yeah
Okay, okay.
which type of which type I don't know synthetic.
Hello. Can you hear me? I can't hear anybody again.
You're on the line.
Okay, any more question? I think the other person is no longer talking now. We can't hear him. Any other question?
No, sir.
Yeah, please. You spoke about innovation. So I want to ask the difference between innovation and then renovation.
Sorry, you said you want to know the difference between
Innovation and then renovation.
innovation and renovation.
Yeah,
No, we've not discussed
like
renovation
the
here.
difference between them.
We didn't discuss renovation here, but um, renovation basically is not part of our syllabus, but it is normally used in facility management where you try to uh, repair, fix worn out part um, of something, and then maybe repaint and all that. So that is what we call renovation. But not we don't use that terminology in our innovation management system. Yeah. Instead of
Okay,
renovation,
thank
you use the word innovation.
okay.
Okay. So
All
maybe
right,
those
thank you.
who are into building and construction engineering, they may come across renovation more. They may also not come across innovation so much. They may come across renovation of an old dilapidated building. You can renovate it to become very new. And it is also in the same spirit of being creative and innovative. So that renovation can be a modification, it can be a synthesis, or can be a new thing altogether. But of course, you are using an old thing, so it cannot be creation. Okay, so it's an old building or something that you are going to renovate. So you can use synthesis or, yeah, other forms of innovation.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. Uh, Anyone else? Okay. If there are no more questions, I would close this one. Then we look at lecture 4. So I welcome you again to lecture 4 of our entrepreneurship course. That's this one we're talking more about ideas and opportunities. Ideas and opportunities. So there are so many ways we can start our business, and before we start a business, we really definitely need an idea that we can convert into an opportunity for ourselves to be able to work together in a team or probably as individual to start a business. But not all ideas that come to us are viable, right? Uh, it is important to know that some ideas are viable, others may not be viable. So we need to have the skill of authenticating or reviewing ideas to be sure they are viable or not. How do we go about uh, such things? We need to make sure we look at our environment, the social context, technological advancement, government policies. Then we can be able to pick some business ideas from them. Because sometimes it may be even our own need, our personal need that can help us to come up with some ideas. So who can tell me some of the things that are happening now, either in a social context, government policy or regulations or income level, technological advances that can help us to get a business idea? And what kind of business idea can we get from some of those things? Anyone? If you have something to say, just unmute yourself and then start talking so we can hear you. Okay, so you can come across things like the 24-hour economy, which is a government policy. You know, they're talking about a lot of businesses, the Volta, is it business enclave or Volta River business? But so many things. They're talking about processing activity talking about uh, um, business ideas in Ashanti trading, talking about having a boat or ferries on the sea, yeah, on the ocean or the sea to carry people across West Africa. So there are so many things that are there. When we talk about technical advancement, the coming of the AI has helped people to start businesses. The coming of the WhatsApp, people can now market their goods or products on WhatsApp, e-commerce. So there are so many things that are helping people to do business. So business ideas can come from different perspectives, either from our individual needs perspective, sometimes from our friends and family, or if you look around, you can be able to find some business ideas that you can be able to work with. Now, according to Walter Lippmann, he believes that when all think alike, then no one is thinking. What does it mean? It basically means that we all cannot be thinking the same way. So it means that people have different ideas. So when I ask you now, what kind of business should we do? So you go to maybe as a class to make money for this class. I'm sure you all come with different ideas. And that is what he's trying to say that when I ask you to tell me something about something, don't say that, oh, somebody has said what I wanted to say. He has already mentioned what I wanted to say. No. Always make sure you think about something different so that we are not thinking alike, but we can think about different things. Yeah, sometimes we think alike, like almost like when we agree on certain things, but when it comes to innovation, we want people to come with their various perspectives, that we put it together. So Harvey also mentioned that capital isn't so important in business. Experience isn't so important. You can get both things. What is important is ideas, or the ideas that we need. Uh, if you have ideas, then you have the main asset you need. And there isn't any limit to what you can do with your business and your life. So, well, this issue or this Harvey may be talking more about the Western kind of thinking, or the reality in the Western world, that they don't really have money with capital, okay, and experience, but they have issue with ideas. So all he's trying to say is that if you have idea, you can do so many things. But of course, the reality in Ghana and many African countries is that we don't only have issue with ideas. Sometimes maybe we have more ideas than the Western world. What we also lack is perhaps capital and expertise to do some of these things. So you see that we may need different things. But yeah, what he's trying to say clearly is that ideas are the biggest assets you can have. And people have money, but they don't know what to do with the money, they waste it. So it's good to have ideas. Then when money and others come, you can be able to build on it. So that's why we need to learn more about creativity and innovation. Sorry, we could talk about the business idea and opportunities. Yeah. So what's the nature of business opportunity? We'll first start with idea and then we end with opportunity. What an idea, just like a creative act or creativity, an idea is also a mental impression or a thought in your mind. And entrepreneurs convert their ideas into successful enterprises. There are many ways you can get business ideas, like from existing businesses. You can see, I see that Fan Milk, they are producing yogurt, but what they are producing is basically like ice cream. People need probiotic yogurt, so let me also produce some. So you see, an existing business can give you an idea of what you can do, because people like that product. It's not for you to go and produce the same thing, but it can help you to innovate and do something different. Or see, people want smaller component of the ice cream, but yes, it's too big, so you can produce something that is a bit smaller. Yeah, you can also talk about franchises. We have looked at the franchise. One very common franchise we have in Ghana and globally is KFC. So what does franchise mean? So when um, you get a license or a franchise, or it's also that license is also called a franchise. You get that license from somebody who produces something well, so that you can produce the same thing with the same formula, the same way, should taste the same way elsewhere, so that when the people travel, they say, "Oh, I don't want to do or to buy the same product." Then that's what we call a franchise. So if you start a business, you see KFC started from the US, now it's everywhere. So when you taste chicken here, in Cape Coast, from KFC, you should take the same way when you go to Accra or you go to Hamburg, right? They try to make sure they taste almost the same. So they are doing the same thing, basically. Like Chicken Man, Pink Bray, and all those guys, they offer franchise. So what this does is that you don't need to go and be thinking about what you need to do again. You can just go and use. If you have money, they come and set up for you. We'll look at franchise again when it comes to forms of business ownership. Then corporations. Corporations are big organizations that maybe you are working for a big organization and you think that, okay, from what you are seeing, maybe this organization, they need something to buy, but they are not getting, they are importing it. So you can decide to either resign from the company and produce those things so that your company can buy. So people get ideas from corporations. Who get idea from customers can give you idea. Oh, yeah, your sobolo is this way. Maybe it's too much sugar. So if you do it that way, it will help you to innovate and get new ideas. Or look, I like this, but if you can produce this other one also, I will like it. Okay, so that one also can be a good point. So customers, we need to talk to them because they can be able to help us to get a lot of good business vibes. Yeah. Then competitors, yes, those who are competing with you, when they take competitive move, they start doing something differently. You say, this one, let me also do similar thing. Otherwise, people, our client will move to that person. So sometimes competitors give you some business ideas from what they do. Either you do the similar thing or you even do better than them. Yeah. Then distributors, wholesaler, retailer, they also get feedback from customers or even themselves will look at the product and say, okay, they can propose changes or they say, oh, now customers are buying a lot of liquid soap. So if you can produce liquid soap instead of the solid hard soap, that will work. So they can also give you some ideas. Networking, when you talk to people at events, that's why it's good to attend events, talk to people, you can get ideas. Okay, well, we can do this together. Then consulting, yeah, sometimes you need to pay some money, you talk to business executives or business development officers, they can give you some ideas. Then former employees, sometimes your employees can also give you some ideas uh, about what you are doing. That's if you already are into business, they can give you ideas about what they have seen out there when they leave your organization. Maybe they are working with another person. They say, oh, these people are doing this, so they can give you ideas. So if you also do this, it might help. All right. So that's about idea. But what about opportunity? When we talk about an opportunity, it's basically an idea that you have seen that it is viable because there are so many ideas that may come, but not all of them will be viable. Some ideas may be bigger than the capital you have or the expertise you have available. So you look at it. So an opportunity usually is something that you can, any creative idea that you can anchor into a product so that people can have use for it. That becomes an opportunity. So an opportunity is an idea that has passed through a test and has passed the test of being anchored into a product or service for your customers. What are the essential qualities of an opportunity? One, it must be attractive. Every opportunity should be attractive. When you say something is attractive, human beings, we are attractive probably based on what we wear or how we look or yeah, so many things. Or maybe sometimes some people say you are attractive when you have money. Yeah, okay, so many things bring attraction. But what about business opportunities? Business opportunities are attractive when they are able to generate enough money. When you say, oh, when I start this business, I'm going to earn this much from revenue. Oh, that's good. So you see, sometimes you can even see it from other people who are doing similar things. Oh, this person is doing this. So it makes the business attractive. If it's not attractive, then it's not a good business opportunity. Another so another uh, quality of a business opportunity is timeliness. Every business opportunity must be timely. There are some businesses that are collapsing. Every product you have learned about the product life cycle. Products go through phases. The same with business opportunities go through phases, the initial stages until it is out of the system. For example, if you are now producing nose masks, the business opportunity is not timely. But if you're producing nose masks in 2000 or 2021, no, sorry, in 2020 or 2021, you are being a millionaire because billions of people around the world are buying those masks every day. So that is the issue about these things. So it must be timely. Don't come with business idea that is no longer attractive to people or no longer being patronized by people. Another point is that business opportunity must be durable. When we say it must be durable, it means that that business opportunity should not come today and then tomorrow is no longer an opportunity. It should be an opportunity that lasts long. Okay, so if it is about food, you want to go, oh, for the next 20 years, at least people will be eating, unless the world has come to an end, you know. So these are things that it's not something that you do today and then tomorrow you are not able to do it again. So you have to balance that also. Then the last one is that you should be able to anchor it. A good business opportunity, um, should be able to you should be able to anchor into a product or service for people to buy that adds value to them. Sometimes people have this idea, but they don't know how to, or when you think about putting it together into an opportunity, it's not possible. Then it cannot be a business opportunity. For example, I have an idea that I don't want to sit in an aeroplane or sit in a car or a bus or walk that much. But I just want to, for example, be in Cape Coast and within 5 seconds, I want to appear on the streets of Kumasi or maybe in Tamale within 5 seconds, right? That's a good transport system, but it's just an idea. I have not been able to anchor it into a product. When people were thinking about how to move people across countries, or maybe I can just uh, be here and then the next moment, in the twinkling of an eye, I should appear in London, no visa. I just appear. You know, that's a very good transport system that if you desire to, will really help. And when police are chasing you that you don't have visa, before you're like, pium, you have vanished again, and then you are maybe back in Ghana. So this is just an idea. I have not been able to put together, but I have the idea. So an idea until I anchor it into a product or service for people to benefit from it, then it's not a business opportunity. So I cannot say that is an opportunity yet. It is still an idea. Because I can think about it. When you can imagine it, it becomes an idea. But when you can put it together into a product or service or a result or something that people can benefit from, then it becomes an opportunity. So there are steps in developing a successful business entrepreneur ideas into an opportunity. So we'll look at them. Oh, sorry, I have to go. The first one is opportunity recognition. That is the first stage when you recognize an opportunity. Say, okay, this is a good opportunity. After you have passed it through the step-by-step stage, it's okay. I have the money. It's easier. So you have to, the 4 areas you have to evaluate your business opportunities, right? Is it attractive? Is it timely? Is it durable? Can it be anchored into your product? When you pass this stage, then it means that it is an opportunity. Then you develop the business model. How are you going to make money out of it? Because business people are not philanthropists, but they are normally economic agents who need a reward back. Apart from social businesses or what we call non-profit organizations, the other businesses are all in for some profit of a kind. So you develop the business model that will help you get money. So if I'm transporting people across borders within 5 seconds, how will they pay me? Do they have to buy ticket? Okay, so it is out of business model that they sell tickets around, because if you are going for a theater and show and then they don't sell tickets, yes, you enjoy the theater, but how would they pay the actors and pay bills for the venue renting and other things? So the business model is what help us to find a way of collecting some reward from people who patronize our product. Then feasibility analysis. We'll be looking at that again also later. But basically, it's about making sure that the business that we want to do, we are able to do it. It's not just an idea. I mentioned it. Are you able to have resources, for example? Do you have the people who can help you? Will it work? Will you generate enough money to pay if you have to go for a loan, or if you have to use your own resources? Can you get the money back? All those things will help you to do a good feasibility. Then you need to write some business plan. If you write a business plan, then it helps you to uh, um, uh, discuss the business in detail. Then people can help you. You can get it done by yourself. Then we have you need to also launch the venture. Let me say you are launching a venture. That is the official start of a venture. So you call people, we start it, and then we are able to work with you, and then you can grow the business. So basically, these are the 5 stage: idea, development stage into successful business opportunities. Then we have forces that create opportunity. When we say forces that create opportunity, we are basically looking at how we can get good business opportunities around. One is changing trends. When people are thinking about something now, maybe everybody like fashion, right? Now people are moving towards this. So that can create a business idea. I don't know what is a changing trend now. Maybe IT. So many people are sorry. Yeah, many people are buying phones and all that. So books. Now people don't buy a lot of hard copy books. So people are producing ebooks and audios and videos because people are watching more than reading hard books in the library. So chaos, confusion, and consistency. So inconsistencies, things that are happening around that are not really palatable. People can still make business out of it. So let's take COVID, for example. COVID-19 came, killed people, destroyed businesses, but people also became billionaires out of the same crisis. So entrepreneurs are always looking for opportunities. So during the COVID, those who were producing test kits, who were producing hand sanitizers, masks, vaccines, and all that, they are all making money. So sometimes there can be confusion and chaos or issues around, but people can make money of it. Then another one is knowledge and information gaps. When you know something, some people have idea about herbal medicine that other people don't have, they can put it together. Like the core effects solutions, they helps to provide herbal medicine that have been tested. People don't know, but you pass by all those herbs everybody don't know what they do. So knowledge is power. That's what it means. Then other vacuum in the industry, if there's anything you find that, oh, maybe this one I can do, other people are not doing it, then it's a business opportunity. Then I mentioned that we'll come back to feasibility analysis. So when we talk about feasibility analysis, we are basically looking at trying to see how we can uh, systematically evaluate our business idea to see whether it is viable for us to continue or not to continue. So it's important to have a feasibility analysis because when we have a feasibility, it helps us to determine if the opportunity is worth pursuing. It's not every opportunity you see out there that is fine. Like someone will say, not all that glitters is gold, right? So we have to make sure that it is not everything and every opportunity that we see that is good. But how would you know? Only if you are able to check to see if it's fine. Opportunity feasibility analysis also help us to screen ideas before committing resources. So you don't just jump into conclusion when you see the thing, but it will help you to screen it before. So let's look at the feasibility analysis summary here. Okay, sorry, I have let me go back. Okay, we've done this one, reasons for feasibility analysis. So let's go to the next slide. So there are 4 main categories of feasibility analysis: the product feasibility, industry or market feasibility, organizational feasibility, financial feasibility. So if you say yes to all these areas of feasibility, then you can go ahead and start a business. If you say no to one of these feasibilities, then you have to go back and check, okay, what is wrong? Why is it not? When you say yes and no, what does it mean? What it means that if your product is, if your business idea is feasible, whether you can convert it into a product or service, then it is feasible. If your idea has good market, then it is feasible. People can buy, or you can buy, sell it to people for money. If you can put it into an organization and get it produced, then it's also feasible. Then we have financial feasibility. Do you have the money? How much it takes to start, and will it yield the right risk, financial reward that you need for your effort. So let's look at them one after the other. Product feasibility help us to see the overall appeal of the product so that we have to see if there are potential customers who will like the products. So we have to check with them, and it's help us to get the product right first time, avoid any obvious flaws in the product design, and then also get additional insight into our product. So you are sending the product to people for them to see whether they like the product. You can like what we call testing or tasting. You can go and check. Oh, Charlie, it's my ice cream and see if it's fine. Some of those things you can do that. These are all part of product feasibility. Develop an early adopter community. These adopter communities are people who are beginning to like your product and they say they want more. Okay, like my smoothie business, I have early adopter community, my friends who are buying it every now and then. They are sending money already. I should produce, they'll come for it. These are people who like it. So it they will become your foundation. Then you can sell to the wider market. So every product you try to develop, try to get one or two friends or family or buyers who like the product, and then they can even become ambassadors and tell others for you. Then it also helps us to use our time more efficiently so that you don't waste time on product that will not work. You don't go and produce plenty of those products and people are not buying because you've not done the product feasibility. So as part of the product feasibility, there are two things we need to do. The concept testing, right? We have the concept testing and the usability testing. Let's go back and look at the concept testing. The concept testing stage is the very first stage under the product feasibility where you try to check whether people like the idea. You have not yet produced the product. Okay, it's a concept. It's still in your mind. So if I do this, will you buy? If I produce maybe ice cream cake, will you like? And what kind of ice cream do you want? The one with milk or without milk? Do you want it very thick or you want it light? Do you want it a lot of sugar or low sugar? So all those things you are just asking people, engage their interest and desirability, whether they will buy or not. Right? You can use questionnaires or interviews to collect that data. But when the product is now developed and you have a prototype, the very first type, prototype can be my first smoothie I produce. People can taste it and know if it's a car, the first car, if it's a Loretta, if it is whatever, if it's a lecture or a university, you can start something that people can see. So normally people can now see what exactly you are talking about. That is that's the advantage from the concept testing. You go to usability testing. So people can now taste your product, enjoy it, and then give you feedback directly. So this usability testing is also called beta test, user test, or field trial. Some of these things will come in your quizzes or end of semester. I think the quiz is from number 1 to 3. So today's work will not be part of the quiz. But yeah, in your end of semester, you see some of these things, beta test. So another name for usability testing is beta test or user test of field trial, because it helps us to get information with the prototype of our product. So when we talk about a prototype, we're looking at an original functional model, what you have produced for the first time. You can even go back and get an improved prototype. People can test it and try it until you have the final product. You can even get a Food and Drugs Authority or Ghana Standard Authority or whichever licensing authority is there to support your products. Then another one of the feasibility analysis is what we call the industry or market feasibility. So the industry or market feasibility is basically looking at checking to see whether people like your products and they are able to buy it. So how many people, for example, are able to buy your product? If you go and start this business now, who and who are going to buy? It gives an indication of what you can be able to do as an entrepreneur, and what people whether people are willing to buy or not. So let's take, for example, you want to sell car in Cape Coast, or you want to produce car for the Cape Coast market. The question is how many people would want to buy brand new cars in Cape Coast. That is what we call industry attractiveness. Are the people really willing and ready to buy? Okay, that gives you a very attractive product. Then market timeliness is whether you are bringing the business, that product at the right time. Then we have identification of the niche. That the niche is basically the group of people within the big market who are willing to buy your product.
Teach us how to describe our daily activities.
So it's very important to get that niche. Like I told you earlier about early adopter community. Yes, from the early adopter community, you get to know which group of people in the market are they like this product so much. Is it young ladies between 15 and 25 years? Then you can target them. Maybe you can say university student or high school student, or is it old men or old women above age 60? Maybe something for old people. So you have to look for a particular group. Or is it people who have high income? Okay, maybe people who are earning about 10,000 or more, they are able to afford this product. So you need to check. Or is it for maybe higher income people will not want to buy this product? So even for low income, you can check. Or maybe those in Accra will like this product, but those in Kumasi may not like. Any niche, you can have geographical niche, you can have income level niche, you can have a class, society, or whatever. You can get a niche for yourself. So the size of the markets, looking at the people who will buy, the growth rate, if the number of people who are entering the market or more people are coming into that market, maturity or stage of the life cycle, if the product, that kind of a product is at the maturity stage or early stage products are better than those at the maturity stage. Then we look at the profitability. If the profitability is high on the product, then it's good. And then we can look at profit margins. If it's a similar to profitability, but sometimes you make profit all right, so it's profitable, but the profit margins are very low. There's some products that have high profit margin. You can make 20%, 30% margin. Some people make only 2%. So you have to check which one works best for you. Industry trends, people coming to buy more. Do we have more producers coming to the industry or not? Then we have opportunities. Are there more opportunities in the industry, or once you enter that industry, there's not so much opportunity to expand? Are there threats? Are there big guys in the market who are competing with you, and then they can throw you away? Okay, if you now want to go and compete with MTN and Telecel, for example, you must be ready, because MTN can put in a lot of big adverts and publish things. They can publicize or even reduce prices, so that when you are coming in, you cannot even be able to cover your costs. So you have to check how all these things help you to know whether the market is attractive or not. Then the market timeliness goes with product that are at the right time. Sometimes if you see that your product is very old, or you see that there's an old product already in the market, you can improve on it. Remember, we talk about modification, all right, or synthesis. So you can modify the product, or what we call improved products, or you can come with a new product altogether, which can be an invention, or it can still be synthesis, but it is something new that does not exist in the market currently. All right. Then you can also look at the timeliness of the market, which talks about getting your products into the markets on time. Okay. Then there's something we call first mover advantage and second mover advantage. So the first mover advantage is the very first person who gets to start something. That's why you go to many homes till date. You still hear people talk about Omo, even when they are using So Clean, or they call So Clean, even when they are using a different washing powder. All that they are trying to say is they want washing powder, right? So anything, as a business person, anything you feel like doing, start and do it fast, because someone else may be thinking the same way you are thinking, right? I've come across people who say, "Oh, this person, I like the person. I wanted to even propose to the person, but you didn't say it. No, be Then you are crying. You go and say, "Oh, I'm already married," so you cannot date the person again. So you see, the same way in business also. Before you realize a business idea has been in your mind for so many years, you don't attend to it. Somebody will come and do it. Before you realize, oh, that's your big business. You think that a person has come to steal your idea, but ideas can move from one point to another. It's not necessarily being stolen. So if you are a first mover, it's good. At least you set the industry standard. You decide how things will work. You develop a brand image, and then you have market power. Like you see how MTN that came to the market quite early is able to work. The first network that came here among the three top guys, I think was Telecel, then Ghana Telecom, but they didn't benefit from the first mover because they um they didn't get the right. But Omo did. Omo too. I don't know whether they are still in the system, but yeah. And then second mover is those who come after the first mover. The same industry, they are all selling washing powder, but different washing powder, for example. Yeah. So I think MTN is a typical example of a successful second mover. They are the second group that came as a space phone, I guess, from the first time. It came as space phone. And when they started, they saw the mistakes that the then Ghana Telecom, now Telecel, what they were doing, they were selling SIM card at exorbitant price. They came and they reduced the price. So those who start first can make mistakes. That is the first movers. So the second movers can learn from those mistakes that the first people did, and then they can come in. And how do they also have low initial investment? Low initial investment because the amount of money they may need to use may be low. For example, if someone moves to a place to buy a land in a hinterland, the person will have to construct the road or at least cut the road and so that there will be a way to the place. So the new people who are coming will just use that road. They don't have to go and create a new road once you are in the same area. So the first movers are likely to spend more on certain things, even to educate people about the need to have mobile phone. But when you come, you are just going to sell your mobile phone because people already know that mobile phones are good from the first mover. So second movers can have lower investment compared to the first movers. So those are the advantages and disadvantages for first movers and second movers. Then how to get a niche. A niche is, we have explained the niche as a proportion of the large market that you target. Your niche, for you to have a good niche that is profitable, it must be large enough to support a proposed business. You have enough people who are buying from you to be able to do the business well. But it should not be too large, but it should be small enough to avoid initial direct head-to-head competition with industry leaders. For example, if you are going to selling of ice creams, you cannot compete with Smart Milk Ghana yet. You are a small business, so you can focus on targeting maybe University of Cape Coast students. From there, you can move to University of Ghana before you realize your product is becoming popular among what university students. Then you can promote. But if you start by selling to everybody in Ghana from one point, they will shoot it down. Those big people will have a way. The big giants in the market is a very dirty and complex environment in business. They will find a way. These people can even poison your food, put something in it and say, oh, this is your food that has poisoned someone. So you don't have to go all out. You see, you have to take it one after that. Let people use it and enjoy it over time, and then they can. So that way you can also have a big hand on it, because if you start producing and people are producing everywhere, maybe one factory can have a security breach, and then people will eat your food and they can have run stock, and then you are in trouble. So we need to make sure we start at a small scale, then we can expand. Then organizational feasibility. That visibility talks about how to get people and the resources to work together. So you need management, people who have management expertise, who have competence within the organization to work, and then the resources. So you need a land, you need a building. If you are producing juice or something, you need a place where you can, the factory, an office, washroom, all those things, make it organization. So all these things you have to ask yourself, will I be able to get these things to start a business? If it is yes, then it is yes. All right. So organizational feasibility talks about three main things: management, resource, and organizational competence. So the management have individual expertise people, whether they can be able to even market the product. The resources can be capital or human resources, money, financial. It can be anything, building that can help. Organizational competency or feasibility under the organizational competence is under. It's also part of the organizational feasibility, and it talks more about uh, whether you can be able to put all these resources and people together to have a competitive advantage. Can we have it as an organization? All right. Then finally, the financial feasibility talks about how much you really need to start a business, and then how much you get from it. So it's like investment and and then output or outcome. then we see whether we can be able to do the business or not. If your investments are too huge, it may not be feasible for you. If we are talking about Dangote or Ibrahim Mahama investing $100 million into a new business, that should not be a problem. But you and I, if we want to start a business and it is even $1 million, we are likely to struggle. So we need to start with something. Okay, can I get 10,000? Something I can start with 10,000 cities or maybe 1,000 cities, and you can be improve it gradually. All right. So you have to make sure you go by the resources you have available to you, and then make sure you're able to get return from it. People are able to buy, make profits, so can improve. Basically, that's the financial feasibility. So we look at important things like total startup capital needed. That is money you need to start. Financial performance of similar business. You can check to see other people who are doing similar business. Are they making profits? If it is yes, then good. Otherwise, if they are not, if they are struggling, then you may want to rethink what you want to do. And then financial attractiveness of the venture, whether the profitability, that is for the business you want to do, whether it will yield a good profit or not. You understand financial statement, balance sheet, financial ratios, income statement, and those things. So it helps you to you can do a pro forma income statement or signal financial position or cash flow to see whether it is something that is viable. Yeah, that's financial feasibility. So if your finances cannot support you, you can look at other alternatives. Okay, I don't have money to start with this, so maybe can I do something different? You can go around it until you're able to get to your desired outcome. For example, if you want to start an intercity bus transport system and you don't have the money to buy 5 buses, maybe you can decide to start renting, right? So and start renting. When you rent, then you make money. Maybe your profit margin will be low, but you'll be putting money resources together, and then like you remember Colonel Sanders, who started by washing dishes in a shop, right, in a restaurant at the gas filling station, and then from there he owned the shop later. So you can start, you can even be renting, and then later maybe the owner of the bus will say, "Oh, I'm selling the bus." Then maybe you can buy. So all these things help us from time to time to understand and work with products that are able to meet our financial targets. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's lecture. Any questions?